Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, the sun is rising, the birds are singing, and the world feels peaceful. But as the day goes on, things start to change. Traffic jams, work deadlines, arguments with loved ones. Life throws challenges at you from every direction. By the end of the day, you feel exhausted, stressed, and overwhelmed. Sound familiar? What if I told you there's a way to stay calm, focused, and in control, no matter what life throws at you? What if I told you that the secret to a happier, more fulfilling life has been around for over 2,000 years? And what if I told you that this secret doesn't require money, fame, or luck, just a shift in the way you think? This secret is called Stoicism. It's an ancient philosophy that has helped millions of people, from Roman emperors to modern-day CEOs, navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. And today, I'm going to share with you 10 powerful Stoic principles that can instantly transform your life. But before we dive into these principles, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like life is spinning out of control? Like no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to find peace or clarity? If so, you're not alone. We all face struggles, whether it's stress at work, problems in relationships, or just the daily grind of life. But here's the good news. Stoicism gives you the tools to rise above these challenges and live with purpose and peace. Let me tell you a little story. Over 2,000 years ago, there was a man named Epictetus. He was born into slavery with no power, no freedom, and no control over his life. But despite his circumstances, Epictetus became one of the most influential philosophers in history. How? By mastering his mind. He realized that while he couldn't control what happened to him, he could control how he responded. And that simple idea changed everything. Epictetus taught us that true freedom comes from within. It's not about what happens to us. It's about how we choose to see it. And that's what Stoicism is all about. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about understanding what you can control, accepting what you can't, and living with virtue and resilience. In this video, I'm going to share 10 powerful Stoic principles that have stood the test of time. These principles have helped people like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and countless others overcome adversity, find peace, and live with purpose. And they can do the same for you. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, or just the chaos of everyday life, these principles will give you the tools to transform your mindset and your life. So, if you're ready to take control of your life, to find peace in the chaos, and to live with purpose and resilience, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll have 10 actionable principles that you can start using today. Let's begin. Let's dive into the first Stoic principle. Focus on what you can control. This is the foundation of Stoicism, and it's the key to finding peace in a chaotic world. The Stoics believed that the only thing truly within our power is our own mind and actions. Everything else, what other people say, what happens in the world, even the weather, is outside our control. And trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to frustration, stress, and disappointment. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're at the airport waiting for a flight. You've checked in, gone through security, and now you're sitting at the gate. Suddenly, an announcement comes on. Your flight has been delayed. Maybe it's bad weather, or maybe there's a mechanical issue. Whatever the reason, you're stuck. Now, you have a choice. You can get angry, complain to the staff, and stress about how this delay is ruining your plans. Or you can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and focus on what you can control. What can you control in this situation? You can control how you respond. You can use the extra time to read a book, catch up on work, or simply relax. You can't control the delay, but you can control how you spend your time. This is the essence of Stoicism, focusing on what's within your power and letting go of what's not. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it perfectly. He said, "Some things are within our control and some things are not. Within our control are our thoughts, our actions and our attitudes. Outside our control are things like other people's opinions, the past and external events." When you understand this, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and frustration. Here's another example. Think about a time when someone said something hurtful to you. Maybe it was a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger. Their words might have stung, but here's the truth. You can't control what they say. What you can control is how you react. Do you let their words ruin your day, or do you choose not to take it personally and move on? The choice is yours. This principle isn't just about big challenges. It applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're stuck in traffic. You can't control the traffic, but you can control how you use that time. Maybe you listen to a podcast, call a friend, or simply enjoy some quiet time. When you focus on what you can control, you turn a frustrating situation into an opportunity. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by identifying what's within your control. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, take action. If it's not, let it go. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Over time, this practice will help you stay calm, focused, and in control, no matter what life throws at you. Here's a practical exercise to get started. Every morning, write down 3 things you can control that day. It could be your attitude, your schedule, or how you treat others. Then write down 3 things you can't control. This simple practice will help you focus your energy on what truly matters. Remember, the goal isn't to ignore the things you can't control, it's to accept them. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up, it means freeing yourself from the struggle. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you create space for peace, clarity, and growth. So the next time you're faced with a challenge, big or small, remember this principle. Focus on what you can control. Take a deep breath, let go of what's outside your power, and take action where you can. This is the first step to living a Stoic life, a life of purpose, resilience, and peace. Let's move on to the second Stoic principle. Embrace the present moment. This principle is all about living fully in the here and now. The Stoics believed that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. But the present, this moment right now, is where life happens. And yet, so many of us spend our time either regretting the past or worrying about the future. We miss out on the beauty and opportunities of the present. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're walking through a beautiful park. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the flowers are in full bloom. But instead of enjoying the moment, you're lost in thought. Maybe you're replaying an argument you had yesterday, or maybe you're stressing about a meeting tomorrow. Either way, you're so caught up in your thoughts that you don't even notice the beauty around you. By the time you leave the park, you realize you didn't really experience it at all. Sound familiar? This is what happens when we don't embrace the present moment. We miss out on life. The Stoic philosopher Seneca put it perfectly. He said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." When you focus on the present, you free yourself from regret about the past and anxiety about the future. You find peace and joy in the here and now. Here's another example. Think about a time when you were with someone you love, maybe a friend, a family member, or a partner. Instead of fully enjoying their company, you were distracted. Maybe you were scrolling through your phone, or maybe you were thinking about work. Later, you realized you didn't really connect with them. You missed out on a meaningful moment because you weren't fully present. This principle isn't just about big moments, it applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're eating a meal. Instead of savoring each bite, you're rushing through it, thinking about what you need to do next. Or maybe you're at work, but instead of focusing on the task at hand, you're worrying about deadlines or meetings. When you don't embrace the present moment, you miss out on the richness of life. Now let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness simply means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about being fully aware of what's happening right now, your thoughts, your feelings, and your surroundings. Here's a simple exercise to get started. Take 5 minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. Notice how it feels as you breathe in and out. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your breath. This practice will help you become more present and aware. Another way to embrace the present moment is to engage fully in whatever you're doing. Whether you're eating, working, or spending time with loved ones, give it your full attention. Put away distractions like your phone or laptop and really be there. You'll be amazed at how much more meaningful and enjoyable your experiences become. The Stoics also believed in the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your experiences. What moments did you fully embrace? What moments did you miss? This practice will help you become more aware of how you spend your time and how you can live more fully in the present. Remember, the present moment is a gift. That's why it's called the present. When you embrace it, you find peace, joy, and fulfillment. You stop worrying about what's already happened or what might happen, and you start living fully in the here and now. So the next time you find yourself lost in thought, take a deep breath and bring yourself back to the present moment. Notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you. Engage fully in whatever you're doing. This is the second step to living a Stoic life, a life of presence, peace, and purpose. Let's move on to the third Stoic principle: practice gratitude. This principle is all about appreciating what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack. The Stoics believed that gratitude is the key to contentment. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You realize that even in difficult times, there's always something to be thankful for. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're walking through a bustling city. The streets are crowded, the noise is overwhelming, and you're feeling stressed. But then you notice something, a small flower growing through a crack in the pavement. It's a tiny, fragile thing, but it's thriving in an unlikely place. For a moment, you stop and appreciate its beauty. That simple act of gratitude shifts your mood. You feel a sense of peace and wonder, even in the middle of chaos. This is the power of gratitude. It doesn't change your circumstances, but it changes how you see them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it perfectly. He said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." When you practice gratitude, you focus on the good in your life, no matter how small, and that changes everything. Here's another example. Think about a time when you were feeling down. Maybe you were stressed about work, or maybe you were dealing with a personal challenge. But then something happened. A kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or even a good cup of coffee. For a moment, you felt a sense of gratitude. That moment didn't solve your problems, but it reminded you that there's still good in the world. It gave you the strength to keep going. This principle isn't just about big moments. It applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're having a tough day. Maybe things aren't going as planned, or maybe you're just feeling overwhelmed. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, take a moment to think about what's right. Maybe you're grateful for your health, your family, or even the fact that you have a roof over your head. When you shift your focus to gratitude, you create a sense of peace and perspective. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by keeping a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. They can be as simple as a warm bed, a good meal, or a kind word from a stranger. Over time, this practice will train your mind to see the good in every situation. Another way to practice gratitude is to express it. Take a moment each day to thank someone, whether it's a friend, a family member, or even a co-worker. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Not only will this make them feel good, but it will also strengthen your relationships and deepen your sense of connection. The Stoics also believed in the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on what you're grateful for. What moments brought you joy? What people made a difference in your day? This practice will help you end your day on a positive note and cultivate a mindset of gratitude. Remember, gratitude isn't about ignoring your problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding the good, even in difficult times. When you practice gratitude, you create a sense of balance and perspective. You realize that even in the darkest moments, there's always something to be thankful for. So the next time you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, take a deep breath and think about what you're grateful for. It could be something big, like your health or your family, or something small, like a beautiful sunset or a kind word. This is the 3rd step to living a Stoic life, a life of gratitude, peace, and abundance. Let's move on to the 4th Stoic principle. Embrace obstacles as opportunities. This principle is all about changing the way you see challenges. The Stoics believed that obstacles aren't just problems, they're opportunities for growth. Every challenge you face is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you embrace obstacles as opportunities, you stop seeing them as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. The path is steep, the air is thin, and your legs are tired. But with every step, you feel a sense of accomplishment. You know that the higher you climb, the more breathtaking the view will be. When you finally reach the top, you realize that the struggle was worth it. The obstacles you faced along the way didn't stop you, they made you stronger. This is the essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you face a challenge, you have a choice. You can let it defeat you, or you can use it as an opportunity to grow. The choice is yours. Here's another example. Think about a time when you faced a major setback. Maybe you lost your job, or maybe you went through a difficult breakup. At the time, it felt like the end of the world. But looking back, you realized that the setback was a turning point. It pushed you to grow, to learn, and to become a better version of yourself. Without that obstacle, you wouldn't be where you are today. This principle isn't just about big challenges, it applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're stuck in traffic. Instead of getting frustrated, you use the time to listen to an audiobook or reflect on your day. Or maybe you're dealing with a difficult coworker. Instead of letting their negativity bring you down, you use the situation to practice patience and understanding. When you embrace obstacles as opportunities, you turn challenges into chances for growth. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by reframing your mindset. When you face an obstacle, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Instead of seeing the obstacle as a problem, see it as a teacher. Every challenge has a lesson to offer if you're willing to learn. Another way to embrace obstacles is to take action. When you're faced with a challenge, don't just sit back and wait for it to go away. Take control of the situation. Break the problem down into smaller steps and tackle them one at a time. When you take action, you regain a sense of power and control. The Stoics also believed in the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on the challenges you faced. What did you learn from them? How did they help you grow? This practice will help you see obstacles in a new light and build resilience over time. Remember, obstacles are a natural part of life. They're not here to stop you. They're here to help you grow. When you embrace them as opportunities, you unlock your full potential. You become stronger, wiser, and more resilient, and that's how you turn challenges into triumphs. So, the next time you face an obstacle, don't see it as a roadblock. See it as an opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? This is the fourth step to living a Stoic life, a life of resilience, growth, and opportunity. Let's move on to the fifth Stoic principle. Live with virtue. This principle is the heart of Stoicism. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from living a life of virtue, a life guided by wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. Virtue isn't about being perfect or following strict rules. It's about aligning your actions with your highest values and living with integrity no matter what life throws at you. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're walking through a dense forest. The path is unclear and you're not sure which way to go, but you have a compass, a tool that always points you in the right direction. No matter how lost you feel, the compass guides you back to your path. For the Stoics, virtue is like that compass. It's your inner guide, helping you navigate life's challenges and stay true to yourself. The Stoic philosopher Seneca put it perfectly. He said, "A good character is the only guarantee of everlasting carefree happiness." When you live with virtue, you create a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. You know that no matter what happens, you've done your best to live with integrity and honor. Here's another example. Think about a time when you faced a difficult decision. Maybe you were tempted to take the easy way out, even if it meant compromising your values. But instead, you chose to do the right thing, even though it was hard. That's what it means to live with virtue. It's about choosing integrity over convenience and doing what's right, even when it's not easy. This principle isn't just about big decisions, it applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're at work and you notice a co-worker being treated unfairly. You could stay silent and avoid conflict, or you could speak up and stand up for what's right. When you choose to act with justice and courage, you're living with virtue. And that creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to do the same. Now let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by reflecting on your values. What matters most to you? Is it honesty, kindness, courage, or something else? Write down your core values and keep them in mind as you go through your day. When you're faced with a decision, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Am I acting with integrity? Another way to live with virtue is to practice self-discipline. Virtue isn't just about knowing what's right. It's about doing what's right, even when it's hard. This means resisting temptations, staying focused on your goals, and holding yourself accountable. When you practice self-discipline, you strengthen your character and build a life of purpose. The Stoics also believed in the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your actions. Did you live with virtue today? Did you act with wisdom, courage, and kindness? This practice will help you stay aligned with your values and grow as a person. Remember, living with virtue isn't about being perfect. It's about striving to be the best version of yourself, even when it's hard. It's about choosing integrity over convenience and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. When you live with virtue, you create a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that no external success can match. So the next time you're faced with a difficult decision, ask yourself, what would a virtuous person do? Let your values guide you and choose to act with integrity and honor. This is the fifth step to living a Stoic life, a life of virtue, purpose, and fulfillment. Let's move on to the sixth Stoic principle. Accept what you cannot change. This principle is all about letting go of the things you can't control and focusing your energy on what you can. The Stoics believed that resistance to reality only leads to suffering. When you accept what you cannot change, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and frustration. You create space for peace, clarity, and growth. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're standing on the shore of a river. The water is flowing fast, and you're trying to stop it with your hands. No matter how hard you try, the water keeps flowing. You're wasting your energy, and you're only getting more frustrated. But then you realize something. You can't stop the river. Instead of fighting it, you step back and let it flow. You accept the reality of the situation, and suddenly you feel a sense of peace. This is the essence of accepting what you cannot change. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it perfectly. He said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." When you accept what you can't control, you free yourself from the struggle. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change, and you focus on what you can. Here's another example. Think about a time when you were stuck in traffic. You couldn't control the traffic, but you could control how you responded. Maybe you used the time to listen to a podcast, or maybe you simply took a deep breath and accepted the situation. When you stopped fighting reality, you found peace in the moment. This principle isn't just about big challenges, it applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're planning a picnic, but it starts to rain. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you respond. Maybe you move the picnic indoors, or maybe you embrace the rain and dance in it. When you accept what you cannot change, you open yourself up to new possibilities. Now let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by identifying what's within your control and what's not. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, take action. If it's not, let it go. This simple practice will help you stay calm and focused no matter what life throws at you. Another way to practice acceptance is to use a mantra. When you're faced with a situation you can't control, repeat this phrase. This is out of my hands. I choose to let it go. This simple reminder will help you release resistance and find peace. The Stoics also believed in the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on the challenges you faced. What did you accept? What did you resist? This practice will help you become more aware of your reactions and build a mindset of acceptance over time. Remember, acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means freeing yourself from the struggle. When you accept what you cannot change, you create space for peace, clarity, and growth. You stop wasting energy on things you can't control, and you focus on what you can. So, the next time you're faced with a situation you can't control, take a deep breath and let it go. Repeat to yourself, this is out of my hands. I choose to accept it. This is the sixth step to living a Stoic life, a life of acceptance, peace, and freedom. Let's move on to the seventh Stoic principle: practice self-discipline. This principle is all about mastering your impulses and staying focused on what truly matters. The Stoics believed that self-discipline is the foundation of a virtuous life. It's what allows you to stay true to your values, resist temptations, and achieve your goals. Without self-discipline, even the best intentions can fall apart. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're training for a marathon. Every morning, you wake up early to run. Some days, it's easy. You feel energized and motivated. But other days, it's hard. You're tired, it's cold outside, and your bed feels so comfortable. But you get up anyway. You lace up your shoes, step outside, and start running. Why? Because you know that self-discipline is what will get you to the finish line. It's what will turn your dream into reality. This is the power of self-discipline. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you practice self-discipline, you take control of your mind and your actions. You stop being a slave to your impulses and start living with purpose and intention. Here's another example. Think about a time when you set a goal for yourself, maybe to eat healthier, save money, or learn a new skill. At first, you were motivated and excited, but over time, that motivation faded. Maybe you gave in to temptation, or maybe you just lost focus. What made the difference? Self-discipline. When you have self-discipline, you don't rely on motivation. You stay committed to your goals, even when it's hard. This principle isn't just about big goals. It applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're trying to cut back on social media. You know it's a distraction, but it's so easy to scroll mindlessly for hours. Self-discipline is what helps you put your phone down and focus on what truly matters. It's what helps you stay in control of your time and energy. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by setting clear goals. What do you want to achieve? Whether it's a personal goal, like getting in shape, or a professional goal, like advancing in your career, write it down. Then break it into smaller, actionable steps. Self-discipline is easier when you have a clear plan. Another way to practice self-discipline is to create routines. Routines take the guesswork out of your day and make it easier to stay on track. For example, if you want to exercise regularly, set a specific time each day for your workout. Over time, it will become a habit, and you won't have to rely on willpower to get it done. The Stoics also believed in the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your actions. Did you stay disciplined today? Did you resist temptations and stay focused on your goals? This practice will help you build self-awareness and strengthen your self-discipline over time. Remember, self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about making consistent progress, even when it's hard. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. When you practice self-discipline, you take control of your life and create the future you want. So, the next time you're faced with a temptation or a challenge, remind yourself of your goals. Take a deep breath, stay focused, and choose discipline over distraction. This is the seventh step to living a Stoic life, a life of self-discipline, purpose, and achievement. Let's move on to the eighth Stoic principle: reflect daily. This principle is all about taking time to look inward, to examine your thoughts, actions, and progress. The Stoics believed that self-reflection is essential for growth. It's how you learn from your experiences, stay aligned with your values, and become the best version of yourself. Without reflection, life can feel like a series of random events, but with reflection, you gain clarity, purpose, and direction. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're on a long journey. You're walking through unfamiliar terrain, and you're not sure if you're going in the right direction, but every evening you stop to check your map. You look back at where you've been and plan the next steps of your journey. This daily practice keeps you on track and helps you reach your destination. For the Stoics, self-reflection is like that map. It's your guide, helping you navigate life's challenges and stay true to your path. The Stoic philosopher Seneca put it perfectly. He said, "Each day, ask yourself, what bad habit did I curb today? How am I better? How am I worse?" When you reflect daily, you become more aware of your actions and their consequences. You learn from your mistakes, celebrate your progress, and stay focused on your goals. Here's another example. Think about a time when you had a difficult day. Maybe things didn't go as planned, or maybe you made a mistake. At the end of the day, you sat down and thought about what happened. You asked yourself, what could I have done differently? What did I learn from this experience? That simple act of reflection helped you grow and prepare for the next day. This principle isn't just about big moments. It applies to everyday life too. Let's say you had a great day. Everything went smoothly and you felt productive and happy. Reflecting on that day helps you understand what worked well and how you can recreate that success. Or maybe you had a tough day. Reflecting on it helps you identify what went wrong and how you can improve. When you reflect daily, you turn every experience into a lesson. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by setting aside time each day for reflection. It doesn't have to be long, just 10 or 15 minutes. Find a quiet place where you can sit and think without distractions. You can reflect in the morning to set your intentions for the day, or in the evening to review your progress. Another way to practice daily reflection is to ask yourself specific questions. Here are a few examples. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? Did I act in alignment with my values? What am I grateful for today? These questions will help you gain clarity and focus. The Stoics also believed in the power of journaling. Writing down your thoughts and reflections can make them more concrete and meaningful. It's a way to track your progress, celebrate your successes, and learn from your mistakes. Over time, your journal becomes a record of your growth and a source of inspiration. Remember, reflection isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about learning and growing. When you reflect daily, you become more aware of your actions and their impact. You stay aligned with your values and focused on your goals, and that's how you create a life of purpose and fulfillment. So, the next time you finish your day, take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How can I grow? This is the 8th step to living a Stoic life, a life of reflection, growth, and purpose. Let's move on to the 9th Stoic principle, memento mori, which means remember death. This principle might sound dark or morbid at first, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools for living a meaningful life. The Stoics believed that reflecting on our mortality helps us appreciate the time we have and focus on what truly matters. It's a reminder that life is short and we should make the most of every moment. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're walking through a beautiful garden. The flowers are in full bloom, the sun is shining, and the air is filled with the scent of fresh grass. You're completely present, soaking in every detail. But then you notice something, a small sign that says, "This garden will not last forever." At first it might seem sad, but then you realize something profound. The fact that the garden won't last forever is what makes it so beautiful. It's what makes you appreciate it even more. This is the essence of memento mori. It's not about fearing death. It's about using the awareness of life's impermanence to live more fully. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. He said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." When you remember that life is short, you stop wasting time on trivial things. You focus on what truly matters, your relationships, your passions, and your purpose. Here's another example. Think about a time when you received bad news, maybe a health scare or the loss of a loved one. In that moment, everything else seemed unimportant. You realized how precious life is and how quickly it can change. That awareness likely inspired you to make the most of your time, to reconnect with loved ones, or to pursue a long-held dream. This is the power of memento mori. It's a wake-up call to live with intention and gratitude. This principle isn't just about big moments. It applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're stuck in a boring meeting or scrolling mindlessly through social media. Suddenly you remember, life is short. Is this how I want to spend my time? That simple reminder can shift your perspective and inspire you to do something more meaningful. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by reflecting on your mortality each day. It doesn't have to be a long or depressing exercise, just a simple reminder. You can say to yourself, "Today could be my last. How will I make it count?" This practice will help you stay focused on what truly matters. Another way to practice memento mori is to visualize your life as a timeline. Imagine a line representing your life from birth to death. Mark where you are now. How much time do you have left? What do you want to accomplish? What relationships do you want to nurture? This exercise will help you clarify your priorities and take action. The Stoics also believed in the power of gratitude. When you remember that life is short, you naturally become more grateful for what you have. Take a moment each day to appreciate the people, experiences, and opportunities in your life. Say thank you more often. Express your love and appreciation to those who matter most. When you live with gratitude, you create a life of joy and fulfillment. Remember, memento mori isn't about fearing death. It's about embracing life. It's a reminder to live with intention, to focus on what truly matters, and to make the most of every moment. When you remember that life is short, you stop procrastinating, stop worrying about trivial things, and start living fully. So the next time you're faced with a decision, ask yourself, if today were my last day, would I do this? Let the awareness of life's impermanence guide you. This is the 9th step to living a Stoic life, a life of purpose, gratitude, and meaning. Let's move on to the 10th and final Stoic principle: serve others. This principle is all about contributing to the greater good and finding fulfillment through helping others. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from living a life of service, a life where you use your talents, time, and energy to make a positive impact on the world. When you serve others, you not only improve their lives, but you also enrich your own. Let me tell you a story to explain this better. Imagine you're walking through a small village. The people there are struggling. They don't have enough food, clean water, or shelter. You could walk past and do nothing, or you could stop and help. Maybe you share your food, help build a well, or teach them a new skill. As you work alongside them, you notice something amazing. The more you give, the happier you feel. You realize that serving others isn't just about helping them. It's about connecting with them, learning from them, and finding meaning in your own life. This is the essence of serving others. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it perfectly. He said, "What is the fruit of these teachings? Tranquility, fearlessness, and freedom." When you serve others, you create a sense of purpose and fulfillment that nothing else can match. You realize that you're part of something bigger than yourself, and that's where true happiness lies. Here's another example. Think about a time when you helped someone, maybe a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. Maybe you listened to them when they were feeling down, or maybe you volunteered your time for a good cause. How did it make you feel? Chances are it made you feel good, not just because you helped someone, but because you connected with them. You realized that your actions mattered, and that's a powerful feeling. This principle isn't just about big acts of service. It applies to everyday life too. Let's say you're at work and you notice a coworker struggling with a task. You could ignore them and focus on your own work, or you could offer to help. When you choose to serve others, even in small ways, you create a culture of kindness and collaboration. You make the world a better place, one act of service at a time. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this principle in your own life. Start by looking for opportunities to serve others. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be as simple as holding the door for someone, offering a kind word, or volunteering your time. The key is to approach every interaction with a spirit of generosity and compassion. Another way to serve others is to use your unique talents and skills. What are you good at? How can you use that to help others? Maybe you're a great listener. You could offer support to someone who's going through a tough time. Maybe you're skilled at teaching. You could mentor someone who's just starting out. When you use your talents to serve others, you create a ripple effect of positivity. The Stoics also believed in the power of community. When you serve others, you strengthen your connections and build a sense of belonging. Take time to nurture your relationships with family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers. Show up for them, listen to them, and support them. When you serve others, you create a network of love and support that enriches everyone's lives. Remember, serving others isn't about sacrificing yourself or neglecting your own needs. It's about finding a balance, giving to others while also taking care of yourself. When you serve others from a place of abundance, you create a life of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. So the next time you're faced with an opportunity to help someone, take it. Whether it's a small act of kindness or a larger commitment, know that your actions matter. This is the 10th step to living a Stoic life, a life of service, connection, and meaning. We've reached the end of our journey through the 10 powerful Stoic principles that can instantly transform your life. Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned. These principles aren't just ancient wisdom. They're practical tools you can use every day to live with purpose, resilience, and peace. We started with Principle 1. Focus on what you can control. This is the foundation of Stoicism. It's about understanding that the only thing truly within your power is your own mind and actions. When you focus on what you can control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and frustration. Then we move to Principle 2. Embrace the present moment. Life happens in the here and now. When you live fully in the present, you stop worrying about the past or the future and find peace in the moment. Principle 3 was about practicing gratitude. Gratitude is the key to contentment. When you focus on what you're thankful for, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance and find joy in the simple things. Principle 4 taught us to embrace obstacles as opportunities. Every challenge is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you see obstacles as opportunities, you turn setbacks into stepping stones. Principle 5 was about living with virtue. True happiness comes from living a life of integrity, wisdom, and kindness. When you align your actions with your values, you create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Principle 6 reminded us to accept what we cannot change. Resistance to reality only leads to suffering. When you accept what you can't control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and find peace in the present. Principle 7 was about practicing self-discipline. Self-discipline is the foundation of a virtuous life. It's what allows you to stay true to your goals, resist temptations, and achieve your dreams. Principle 8 taught us to reflect daily. Self-reflection is essential for growth. When you take time to reflect on your actions and experiences, you gain clarity, learn from your mistakes, and stay aligned with your values. Principle 9 was memento mori, remember death. This principle is a powerful reminder to live with intention and gratitude. When you remember that life is short, you focus on what truly matters and make the most of every moment. And finally, Principle 10 was about serving others. True fulfillment comes from contributing to the greater good. When you use your talents and time to help others, you create a life of purpose, connection, and meaning. These 10 principles are not just ideas, they're tools you can use every day to transform your life. They've helped millions of people, from ancient philosophers to modern-day leaders, navigate life's challenges with strength and clarity, and they can do the same for you. But here's the thing, knowledge is only powerful when you put it into action. So I want to challenge you. Pick one principle that resonates with you and start applying it today. Maybe it's focusing on what you can control, or maybe it's practicing gratitude. Whatever it is, take that first step. Start small, but start today. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. If you found value in this video, share it with someone who needs it. Let's spread the wisdom of Stoicism and help others live better lives. Together, we can create a world of resilience, peace, and purpose. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And let me know in the comments which principle resonated with you the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember, the power to transform your life is in your hands. Stay stoic, and I'll see you in the next video.